Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Ever17, the Out of Infinity. Last time, or more along the lines, this time I actually decided to think for a minute and remember what happened last time. So what did happen? Oh yeah. The kid and you tried to repair the machine in the medical room. Actually fixed it. Tsugumi and Sara came in. They were having a bit of a spat, and Tsugumi stormed out, and the kid chased after her. Something about a pendant, so they might be somehow more story related to each other than, or related to each other. Who knows? Who knows? I doubt it. But anyway, story related to each other. So now the kid's trying to figure out why Tsugumi doesn't trust him. Why she's being Tsugumi around him. I don't get you. What exactly is suspicious?
Same
as before?
あなたが本当に記憶喪失なら知らないかもしれないけど、今回の事故だってきっとまた何か裏があるに決まってるわ。
You mean to tell me you've experienced the same thing as this before? Tsugumi stared at me intensely. Nah. No? Nah. I took her look as a yes. In that case, I wonder if the same held true for me. So that means you can foresee what's going to happen, right?
Eh?
I'm right, aren't I? So it's not just me then. But then how come I can see into the future? Wow, I can't talk today. I cannot. But then how come? Wow. But then how come I can see into the future all of a sudden? See the future. Now the feeling I had was less one of seeing it and more like knowing the future, possibly having experienced it before. Did I know it? Had I experienced it? Why? That was because the same thing was happening again. That's it. You and I must have traveled to the past, Tsugumi.
Time slip?
Yup. But there you had hit upon excited me. I was sure it almost had to be. I have the same sense. I know the future. Back at the generator room, I knew that the room had built up heat. And take this morning, I had the feeling there would be trouble in the warehouse. And when I first met Sara, I felt like I'd experienced something like it before. I think I've probably experienced the same thing in the past. Tsugumi just stared at me. I could clearly see that she was flustered. Hey, tell me your story. When I asked Tsugumi that, it was as if she snapped back to reality, her expression and look in her eyes back to normal.
あなたに話を冗談でしょ。あなたが奴らの仲間かもしれない以上、あなたに手の内を明かすようなことなんてできないわね。
I felt dejected, like I had finally found someone that could share my feelings, but wouldn't. Okay, I'm confused. I'm back to being confused. Well, I never left being confused, but I'm back at it anyway. So she extra pissed off this playthrough because of the last one? Meaning, I don't know. Or if I had played with the kid the first time, would she still be doing this? Would she still be acting like she'd done this before? Because she never mentioned that to Takashi. I mean, she told him a lot of other things about her. So I would think that she'd mention, yeah, and I think we've done this before. Somewhere in there. Yeah, this is confusing. This game's confusing.
いいこと？前にも言ったけど、これ以上奴らには関わらない方が身のためよ。もちろん、私にも。
Why?
あなた、やけに理由にこだわるのね。理由なんてどうでもいいの。
She crossed her arms and said this forcefully.
でも、あえて理由があるとしたら、それがあなた自身にとって最もいい結果をもたらすからよ。例えば、あなたの記憶喪失だって奴らの仕業かもしれないのよ。
Huh? That was a shocking idea. Her words just about stopped my heart for a moment. What? There's no way. I had never even entertained that idea. Tsugumi turned to walk away from me, ignoring me in my state of dismayed confusion. I didn't have any power left to chase after her.
ああ、そうだ。それともう一つ、おしゃべりついでに、私もその未来予知とやらをしてあげましょうか。
I slowly lifted up my face and looked at Tsugumi. She looked serious all of a sudden. Tsugumi predicted that
このまま奴らに利用され続ければ、7日にあなたは死ぬの。
I trudged along looking down. The light reflected cold and hard off the walls and floor. Tsugumi's words echoed in my mind. Tsugumi said not to trust Takashi, you, and the others. That my lost memory was their fault as well. That their behavior was suspect. But I wondered if that could really be true. I didn't see how it could be. They all seemed trustworthy to me. The type of people you could really depend on. I had only spent a few days with them, but I was sure. Besides, even if she were right, there were lots of things that were inexplicable. If Takashi and the others were scheming something, they were trying to deceive Tsugumi and me, then it should be visible in their words and actions. No, they're good at it. There was no way that a normal person could put on an act as elaborate as this. If one or two were trying to lie, it might be possible, but even with my memory impaired, I would still be able to tell if they were all trying to do it. It seemed that you, Sarah, and everyone were reacting naturally, as one might expect in each situation. So it didn't seem possible. It wasn't possible. The most impossible thing to explain was why I caused this accident, why I lied to Tsugumi and me. There was no reason, and it would have been impossible anyway. I wondered if I were going to die. That was stupid. If that was the case, we would have to be smart to help each other more than ever. The problem is probably with Tsugumi. That's what I thought. Maybe she had some grudge against Takashi and the others from before. Or maybe she was just imagining everything and just paranoid. Or maybe she was trying to make me paranoid about the others and draw us into conflict. Or something else. No, I had to stop this. It was too crazy. Nothing else this was. All just my imagination working overtime and nothing but paranoia. It had to be that the difficulty of the situation was putting incredible mental strain on everyone. I wanted to trust everyone and to be trusted. So I would continue to treat everyone as I had up until then. That is what I decided. Rather than worrying about who to trust, we needed to worry about how something like this could have happened. If we needed a cause, we might be able to figure out a way out. I remember that Tsugumi had said something else.
あの時と同じことをしようとしてるじゃないの。
I wondered about my ability to foresee events. Oh. So that bad feeling that he was talking about before. Ah, that's fascinating. It happened at different times, though. Happened at different times, and that wouldn't be... Oh, quit thinking about it. Was I repeating the past? I wonder if I really did travel one time. Finally arrived back at the infirmary, but there was no longer anyone there. Huh? Where did everybody go? Maybe they're in the conference room. Hey, Sora! I called out to her through the microphones in the room, but there was no reply. Sora had said that the complex of sensors were not yet functioning everywhere. I figured that I'd just have to go searching myself. I sighed and headed out into the corridor. Oh, that's right. I had an idea. The security office was nearby. I could use the observation monitors there. I might be able to see what was going on, and maybe find out where everybody was. So I made for the security office. When I entered the office, I saw you. She was slouching loosely in a chair. You, what are you doing here?
なんだ少年か。やっほー。
You swiveled her neck around and greeted me. She couldn't be bothered to shift her body. Where's everybody else? What happened to Sara?
マヨは救護室の下にある加減圧室で休ませたよ。
You straightened up. Sara said she wanted to be alone, so I best not bother her. I see.
空は制御室でお仕事。館内の設備の点検と調整。
What about Takushi?
クラナリのことなんて知らないよ。去り際にお酒が飲みたいとかなんとか言ってたから、どこかで一杯やってるかもね。
Huh? A beer in LeMU? You shrugged as if to say, who knows? Well, that would be an interesting scene right there.
そういうそっちはどうだったの？つぐみは？
Not good. She wouldn't listen. She just took off somewhere. I decided not to say anything about Tsugumi's silly suspicions.
まあ、そんなとこだろうと思った。
So what are you doing here? You can't access the database for a while, right?
もちろんそっちはしばらくお預けだよ。今は館内をモニターで見て回りながら脱出方法を考えてるの。まだ何も思いつかないんだけどね。
You went back to typing on the keyboard. The images on the monitors changed again and again. Takushi appeared in one of them. Hey, that's Takushi.
そうみたいね。
Is that the rest area?
そうみたいね。
I wonder what he's doing.
さあね。
Takushi was sitting on a bench. He had a can of beer in his hand. As you had said, it looked like he was having a drink. So, there really is beer here. Thinking about it, I realized that Takushi knew the kiosk's freezers by heart now. Maybe it's something that an employee or someone had sneaked in. What I didn't understand was why there was one more beer. Or I should say that the can was open and sitting next to Takushi. It'll get flat if he leaves it like that. Of course there was no one there. Was that when he already drank or something? Takushi lifted his can in the direction of the can next to him and muttered something. We couldn't hear the what. I wonder if he was drunk. He looked dangerous.
まったく、何やってんだか、あのアホは。
This would make me feel a lot more uncomfortable knowing that Yu's looking around on the monitors at everybody. He pushed some keys and switched to a less unsightly scene.
さて、ちょっと休憩しよっと。
You jumped out of her chair and headed for the coffee machine. I want one too.
あいよ。
Where's the sugar milk?
そんなもの入れるんだ。お子様ね。
I can drink however I want, Keta.
まあいいけどね。この引き出しに入ってたと思うけど。
I took the sugar pie and milk bottle out from the drawer.
コーヒーは苦いからコーヒーなのよ。
You said this as she poured coffee into our cups.
不純物を入れたコーヒーなんて福神漬けのついたインドカレーみたいなものね。
Hey, chicken sandwiches are pretty good.
まあ君もいずれわかる時が来るよ。はいどうぞ。熱いですよ。
Oh, shut up. I dribbled a little milk into the cup that she gave me. I went to add sugar, but there was no spoon, so I decided to pour from the sugar pot. You know that black coffee is bad for your stomach, right?
そんなのは100も承知よ。体に悪いからってこの世界から喫煙者はいなくならないでしょ。
Very true. Besides, when you are tired, sweet things give you a surge of energy. I was in an argumentative mood. But then my hand slipped and sugar went cascading into my cup. Oh no!
これで明日の疲れまで吹き飛ぶってものね。
Hey, I was thinking.
何を？
I didn't tell you.
だってあまりにもくだらないんだもん。
You said that and sipped your coffee indifferently. What I said is that I can sense the future. I decided to tell you about my theory. I really wanted to hear what she thought. I'm sure she'll tell you exactly what she thinks. I mean, yesterday in the generator room, the trouble this morning with Takshi and when I first met Sara.
そんなのただのデジャブでしょ。
Deja vu.
既視感とも言ってね。一度も経験したことのないことがいつかどこかですでに経験したことであるかのように感じられること。でもね、それは深層心理の中の似たような記憶がそう感じさせるだけで、要するにただの錯覚なの。
It's not. Wasn't like that. I think I've experienced the same kind of thing in the past.
結局のところ何が言いたいわけ？
I think that maybe I traveled through time. And that I came back here to the past from the future. I think it helps to explain my lost memories somehow. Yeah? That would explain it somehow. There's a little bit of logic lapse though. Although this is a science fiction story game, so it's probably somewhat true. Well, the dimension, time, if it's is he right? Because if I was kind of thinking it might be like a bunch of dimensions side to side or something based on decisions, but would it? Why would he have memories of it though? Unless it had actually happened to. Okay, moving on. Let's quit confusing myself.
で、その説明っていうのは？
Yeah, that's hard to explain, but.
君の思考回路は一体どうなってるわけ？どこをどうひねくり回すとタイムスリップなんて考え方が出てくるのよ。それとも君、未だに天動説を信じてる派？
But right now this is.
OK。
You held her palm out at me like a traffic cop.
100歩譲って、万歩譲ってタイムスリップしたとしてもよ。 それと記憶を失ったことにどんなつながりがあるっていうの全くもって意味不明だよ。いい？この世にはタイムスリップなんて存在しないの。論理的にも科学的にも不可能なの。
I decided to drink my coffee. Ugh. It was so sweet that it made me almost want to vomit.
水が高いところから低いところに向かって流れるように、時間は過去から未来へ向かって流れるのよ。川の流れと同じ。絶対不可逆なの。
What if a waterfall hits a trampoline? Huh? Yeah, that was stupid. But it'd be funny if that was his argument. I groaned, but I wasn't giving in without a fight. Are you sure? Water doesn't always flow down, does it?
今度は反重力物質がなんたらかんたらとか言い出すつもり？もしくは宇宙空間は真空ではなくエーテルの満ちた空間でとか？
That's not what I mean. It's not like that. What I mean is, looked around the room. There had to be something to convince you. Like, my eye stopped on the coffee machine. The water in the lower container was boiling, warmed by the flame of the alcohol lamp. That water was pushed by the pressure of the steam through a pipe in the center and percolated through the pot into the pot. This is it. Look, water doesn't always flow down, see? You didn't say anything. She simply looked at the gurgling water. Hey, are you listening? You suddenly stood up, shouting, "Ow! Ow!" You bumped my arm and spilled my coffee everywhere. It got on my arm and her coat. But you ignored it, handed her cup to me, and went bursting out of the room. She shot out of there like a rocket. I quickly put the cups down and went after her. You was heading to the west. She climbed the emergency corridor and ran down the spiral staircase. When I finally caught up with her, I found myself in the central control room. He must have came up with something great then. I have no clue what it is. You and I dashed into the room. There was Sora. She was in front of the console with both hands together. She was quiet, her eyes closed. It was like she were meditating. The LED of computers in the room were responding and flickering. But when Sora noticed our presence, she opened her eyes and smiled.
どうしました、田中さん。少年さんも。
脱出方法が見つかったのよ。
You shouted in between breaths.
脱出方法？
Really? You did?
ね。
Are you alright?
大丈夫。少し休めば治るから。
See, you should walk calmly. And then you would be able to tell her very calmly what you need to tell her. It would save time. You need to think a little bit more. It'd be hilarious if the kid like rub that in. You put her hand on her chest as she breathed deeply, trying to catch her breath. Then,
ねえサラ、私たちがここから脱出できないのはなぜ？
stupid, it's because LeMU is flooded with water.
いいから君は黙ってて。
Okay, be quiet.
サラ、答えて。
少年さんのおっしゃったように、例の大浸水が原因です。それによって地上インゼルヌルまで登ることのできる非常階段およびエレベーターは完全に浸水してしまいました。イコール脱出路が閉ざされたということです。
オッケー。つまり レミューを満たしている水さえ何とかすれば私たちは脱出できる。
はい。しかし館内に無事残されているわずかな排水ポンプだけでは排水が間に合わず。
大丈夫よ。
Wow, she seemed very confident. You stopped Sora at that point.
確か地上の浮島には高圧送風機があったはずよね。
A high pressure fan?
館内の気圧を高めるために地上から高圧混合ガスを送り込む装置のこと。
はい、おっしゃる通りです。
だったらその高圧送風機を動かして内部に高圧ガスを送り込むことができれば圧力によって水が排水されるんじゃないの？水の中に沈めたストローに息を吹き込めば中の水はストローから出てくるでしょ。
Oh, I get it.
理論上は可能です。
でしょ？だったら。
そして私も最初に検討した手段の一つです。つまり残念ながらそれは不可能なのです。
どうして？
送風機はここからでは動かすことができません。
Yeah, I was going to say, I would think that would be something that they would have, that they would run topside or something. Since the fan's topside, I mean, if it gets jacked up, you would want to be near there, Although in hindsight, I guess with the place getting flooded, it would be nice to have an alternate control down there.
エレベーターが動かなくなったのと同じ理由で原因は不明です。誠に残念なことです。
Yu's shoulder slumped dejectedly. Yu. I put my hand on Yu's back. She turned and smiled an empty smile.
関所、いいアイデアだと思ったんだけどな。もう一度最初から考え直すとしますか。
But her words sounded empty of the spark she'd shown earlier. Only then did you finally notice the coffee stain.
何よこれ、シミになっちゃう。
更衣室の隣にランドリーがありますからそこで洗濯をなさってはいかがでしょう。幸い服の着替えはあることですし。
そうだね。
You took an area of her coat that was stained black and held it to her nose.
砂糖臭い。
You mean it smells like coffee? That's what I wanted to say, but I just barely held my tongue. It was a new day. I do like how she's worried about her shirt being stained right after realizing that there's not any way out of the situation right now, and that they could die. I guess you can either choose to worry about the big things or the little things. I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea to worry about the little things, Probably a lot less stressful. You said she was going to change clothes and had gone to the second floor. Sora went back to work. Sarah, she was probably sleeping in the compression chamber. Uh-oh. Okay, good. Takushi was supposedly filthy drunk in the park rest area. Tsugumi hadn't come back. I had no idea where she'd gone. Me, I was in the conference room. I was going to say, is he going to go hang out with Takushi? In the middle of the table was a three-dimensional image of LeMU. I was staring at it and trying to come up with escape plans. At that point, I hadn't even hit upon a single one. Any plan would fall apart before I even got it fully developed because of my limited knowledge. But I didn't intend to give up. I thought if I could just find a starting point. I wanted to get back at you somehow. Is he doing this out of spite? That would be hilarious. The door opened and somebody came in. Looking back, I saw that it was you. She had changed back into her work uniform.
なんだ、こんなところにいたのか。探したよ。
The ribbon on her outfit shook rhythmically as she walked toward me. Are your clothes dry?
乾燥機が壊れていたの。どうせだからしばらくこっちの服でいようかなって。ねえ、レミューのホログラムなんて表示して何やってたの？
Just looking.
ひょっとして脱出方法を考えていたとか？
Well, all I've got is time on my hands. I lied to her. Embarrassed I couldn't tell her the truth. Enough about that, aren't you going to sleep?
コーヒー飲みすぎちゃってね、眠れないの。それに、いろいろ考えたいこともあるし。
How about that? Same here.
コーヒーが？考え事が？
Both.
なんだ、そっか、奇遇だね。
You laughed dryly as she said that.
じゃあさ、ちょっと付き合ってくれないかな。
Are you going somewhere?
考え事するのにちょうどいいところだと思う。
Someplace in mind?
第三視点、ゆかりの地。
The third eye. When the third eye opens, true wisdom is apparent and all becomes visible. The power of ancients, ultimate knowledge, proof of the transcendental state beyond that of normal people. The place that you led me was...
じゃあ、入ろっか。
You walked toward a stone gate which rose out of a dimly lit dome. Can I ask you a question before we go in?
どうぞ。
Why do the Lemurian ruins have something to do with the third eye?
ああ、そのことね。あれね、嘘なの。
Oh. Shouldn't surprise me. What? What?
本当は関係なんてないの。意味なんかない。ただ、そういえば少年はついてくるかな。一人でぐじぐじ考えるのって性に合わないから、誰かそばにいてほしくて。怒った？
No, not really. I just think that you don't seem the type to be governed by random illogical thoughts.
そうかな。
Yeah.
でも本当はちょっぴり関係あるのかも。
You turned your gaze to the ruins.
お母さんがレムリア大陸を調査するふりして自分の研究の方をやってるって話したよね。そのお母さんにとって第三視点とレムリアとの関連性はなくてはならない存在だったの。なんでかわかる？
Because she was conducting research in the name of Lemuria?
そう。だからお母さんは話をでっち上げることにしたの。
One theory has it that the people of Lemuria were giant apes that were 12 feet tall. They had walnut-colored skin. There were no differences between males and females. They laid eggs and communicated via telepathy. Wow. That would be a bit of a culture shock. That'd be quite a culture shock there, to go there. You think we didn't time travel to there, kid? They had a third eye in the back of their heads. Oh, they got it in the back of their heads. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. Supposed to help with hindsight. Telepathy in the third eye. This has something to do with that third perspective. Drawing on the idea that our vertebrate predecessors had 3 eyes. So the ancients, especially the Lemurians, may well have been races that mastered the use of this power. And based on the facts discovered, I conclude...
第三視点のルーツはレムリアにあると。もっともらしい論文まで書いてね。本当は何にも関係なんてないのに。
I wish you'd tell me more about the third eye.
ごめん。それはまた今度。
Okay.
今そういう話をする気分じゃないから。
But somehow you're gonna just feel like telling tidbits of it here and there, you know, to keep the game going. And then it'll be a big revelation later, right? That probably, if you'd mentioned earlier, could have possibly made a difference earlier. Normally how games and movies and stuff work. We went across through the gate and entered the ruins. Huh. This is the first time we've been in the ruins, isn't it? A long hallway. It was darker inside, and the pathways were interwoven like a maze. The lighting was surreal, with dim lights in some areas and bluish-white lights elsewhere. Occasionally a hologram of some deep-water fish would shine into view. The ruins were also slightly flooded with water, which had the effect of making them appear more like ruins at the bottom of the ocean. No, I just thought of something pretty funny. He was talking about how he thought he was from the future. And I like how when I wanted to do a voice for him, I was thinking Marty McFly. It's kind of his crackly voice, kind of, you know. It's kind of ironic and not relevant at all at the moment. I wondered how far we had walked. Finally, we came to an open space, kind of like an auditorium. The room had a high ceiling. There were rock pillars, called obelisks, scattered around their area. A few of them were broken, collapsed, or crumbling. Looking closely, I saw that a mock relief was carved into the wall. As I absent-mindedly stared at the wall, you walked over to one of the collapsed obelisks and sat down, hugging your knees.
この辺のエリアはね、太陽の神殿って場所なの。
Sun? That reminded me that I'd seen an image of the sun disk on the relief on the wall.
レムリア大陸の正確な所在地については諸説あり、はっきりとしたことは分かっていません。
It looks kind of dark in there for the sun temple.
ですが、赤道直下の熱帯雨林地帯に存在したのではないかという大体のところでは共通しています。
You reverted to speaking like an employee, which he was, and started giving me an explanation of the place.
そんなところから私どもレミューの研究スタッフはレムリアの民は太陽を崇めていたのではないだろうかという仮説を立てるに至り、
You paused and shrugged.
かくしてこんな神殿を作ってみたと、そういうことみたい。
I see. As I sat down next to you, I nodded.
海の底に沈んでるってのに太陽なんて皮肉にしか聞こえないよね。
I wondered if she was talking about the continent that had sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Or maybe she meant us.
君は何か思いついたの？
What do you mean?
脱出方法。
Oh. I shook my head.
そう、やっぱりね。
Yeah, you kind of interrupted me from my thinking. I totally would have thought something right away if you hadn't interrupted me.
はあ、もう他の方法なんて思い浮かばないよ。高圧力送風機さえ動けば。
I bet they here's a crazy Monty Python-esque idea. What if they turn that whale in that room into like a submarine, and they swing it back and forth till it erupts out of the side there?
ねえ、私ちょっと考えてみたんだけどね。私たち誰かに騙されてるんじゃないかな。
Huh? What are you talking about? What is she talking about? Well, we're gonna have to wait till next time, cause that seems like a good enough stopping point. Wonder if she's referring to Sora not being able to tell about like a Himmel and the research facility on the bottom until there's a life-threatening injury, like last time. Might be what she's talking about. But anyway, Hopefully you folks enjoyed this, and I shall return in the next one. Farewell.